Cooking is the leading cause of all household fires, the leading cause of fire-related injury, and the second leading cause of fire-related death.
We frequently get calls all year long for cooking fires. Again, it's our leading cause of fires in residences.
So the City of Wilmington and Wilmington Fire Department partnered with UNCW to install 100 SmartBurners in campus apartments to help reduce cooking fires. This new technology helps prevent fires by replacing the electric coil element on a stovetop.
It's a very quick turnaround process from the stovetop coils that heat in excess of 1,200 degrees. These SmartBurners won't go past 700. Places that have SmartBurners see no stovetop cooking fires, so we're looking forward to those results.
Wilmington was selected as one of 3 pilot sites nationwide. There was no cost to the city or the university, as these SmartBurners were obtained through a Vision 2020 pilot program funded by a FEMA fire prevention and safety grant.
So this is a great community risk reduction effort in order to reduce those risks, particularly here on campus.